Hello, Carman Murray here, author of Teachers First, A Guide to Avoiding and Overcoming Burnout. And this week we are talking about building your team and practicing life skills. I was at a conference, and the fellow that was speaking said he or she who does the most work learns the most. And so I took that to heart in my classroom and really had my students be part of my team. There are 20 to 30 bodies in our rooms that have amazing skills and gifts that they can bring to the table. And how often do we shut them down and not value those skills? And how often do we bring those skills in and have them be part of the team? And the other thing that is so important about this is when we allow students to plan, when we allow students to lead, when we allow students to share their views and their opinions and have conversations about things we might just do ourselves as the teacher, we give them the opportunity to practice life skills. Another mentor in my life, Kate Stillman, talked about the skills that we don't actually allow the smaller humans in our world to practice. We just do it for them. And an example in my house is, and I'm getting so much better at it, but it was frustrating for a while because it's like, how many times do I need to tell you how to load the dishwasher? And it's like this practice and this practice and this practice and this practice. And they might never do it the same that you do, but they build this skill up that's their own, has their own unique flavor on it. So when you look at chapters 9 through 15, it's all about building your team. And I'm just going to read you a little bit here, not from my book, but from a workbook that I created. By now, and we've already done some stuff in the chapters before, by now we've planted some seeds about building a team with your students. This approach may push the boundaries of how you were taught to run a classroom, but when we co-create with our students, the results are powerful. I always had so much fun co-creating with my students, and they had so many great ideas to bring, and their buy-in was so much better, and they were engaged and interested because they got to do the things that they wanted to do, not just what they had to do, and sometimes make work projects. Some of my most memorable teaching experiences came when my students and I co-led unit plans together. Were the outcomes always exactly what I envisioned? Absolutely not. But that's part of the beauty and the learning. Students gain life skills when they see how plans shift, adapt, and unfold in real time. And one of the key pieces that if I was to go back into a classroom, I would use Drew Dudley's values. He has this amazing book. Let me just grab it. He has this amazing book called This is Day One Leadership. And he's got a ton of values in it and some really great life stories. And he's got 6 leadership values: impact, a commitment to creating moments that cause people to feel they're better off for having interacted with you; courage, a commitment to taking action when there is a possibility of loss; empowerment, a commitment to acting as a catalyst for the success of others; growth, a commitment to expanding the capacity to add value; class, this is one of my favorite ones, a commitment to treating people and situations better than they deserve to be treated, even when you have every right not to. That is so usable in classrooms and schools and playgrounds and all the places. Last one is self-respect, a commitment to making decisions that recognize 4 things. You have as much right to happiness as anyone else does. You cannot add value to anyone else's life until you've added enough to your own. Your happiness is your responsibility. Happiness is not possible without forgiveness. And so what I love about working with students is there's this curiosity. There's excitement around learning how they think and what they value. So if you want to use these values, sorry, I have something in my eye. In your classroom, a great place to start is, what are your personal values as the teacher? And then start to discover what your students' values are. And how do you know? Often paying attention to their daily actions is a really great way to look at their values And then listen to what they have to say, because sometimes their actions don't align with what they're saying. And you can be really helpful to bring light to that in a positive way and have them do some reflection onto moving that forward. And when you think about these values that I talked about, how might you integrate them into your existing routines and lessons? And how can you teach your students about values more intentionally and about team? Like, how can we talk about this cooperation and this collective that we create in a room full of sometimes 30 students, and every student contributes, good, bad, or ugly, right? We know the students that on a day that they're not there. Some days, those days are just smoother, and that's how it is. And some days when we have those leaders missing in our classroom, we really notice a hole because they hold a space that really help us out. And so how can you start to build your team? And you can bring these values to your students and talk about them. So how do you want to build your team in your classroom? And how can you take small action steps to start to do that? You don't need to change everything. If you are watching this movie or this video in real time, it is the middle of May. You have 4 to 6 weeks left. You're not going to change everything, but you might try a couple little things to bring in more team with your students. Have them help you plan something, whether it's a day or a lesson plan, or maybe a unit plan, or the year-end field trip, or a fun day. Give it a try and see where it goes. I would love to hear about it in the chat below, or reach out to me personally if you'd like some support to do this, or if you have any questions. It's so much fun to bring your kids into the conversation, even when they're in grade 1, right? The 6-year-olds have amazing ideas. The 15-year-olds have amazing ideas. The 12-year-olds have amazing ideas. And when you bring them all together, it creates magic. Can't wait to see the magic you're creating in your classroom. Have an amazing day. I see you. I see what you're up to, and keep up the great work. And don't forget to take care of yourself in all the craziness.